Okay, for this topic we are going to talk about the creation of natural face with the Feng Shui facial reading with the aesthetic rose bed. I'm Dr. Onge, dermatologist and anti-aging physician, international expert speaker. So, physiognomy. This word is rooted from the word physis, which means the nature, and non, which means just or interpretation. So the physiognomy is actually like it is created to read the face, all the things that nature has been created. Physiognomy, you may not know that actually it has been created from the different places of the world. At the ancient Greek and China, they are located at the different sides of the world, but they all create the physiognomy. Greek and China is where the ancient civilization does exist. So I think some of you may think that Feng Shui face reading is a pseudoscience or not scientific at all. But for me, in my opinion and from my experience, I have done a lot of the Feng Shui face reading. I think actually it is closely correlated to the psychology of art and aesthetics, and it is related to the statistic also. Like we have the palmistry. Have you ever go to the fortune teller and the palmistry? Actually, the palmistry is science because it is the statistic that has been gathered from time by time. Okay, let's see this picture. When you have seen this shape, how is your feeling of this shape, the square shape? You may feel that the square shape, it represents the feeling of discipline, the strength, the courage, security, tradition, and reliability. How about this picture? I think this sense is quite global. Everyone in this world feels really the similar way. For the triangle, you feel the excitement, energy, aggression, danger. And how about its shape? Yeah. For the circle, okay, you can see that it's smooth and it's maybe the representation of feminine. Any of you remember the logo of one brand name bag that used the power of this shape or not? I think many of you have bought that bag. Chanel, you see? The Chanel, it used the power of the psychology. It represents that the product is for the feminine. And it represents that it's soft mind and changeable. So, about the Feng Shui. Normally, they divide the element in this world in 5 basic elements. This one is fire, wood, earth, water, and metal. Every element in this world, they live together harmoniously. So we cannot separate one out of the other. It is the same on our face. We cannot just look after the pages, just single spot to yield a good result. You have to make it in the whole picture and a holistic way. So let's see this. You can selfie yourself and look at your own facial shape. First, this one is the round face. What is the element of round face? From the 5 elements. Which one? Answer me. The round face represents the water. The water, because the water represents something that is movable, changeable. So the round face represents the shape that represents one of the character of the people. Okay, what is the character of the people who have the round face? I think I have seen the water face here. Okay, the one who has water face, they are really easygoing. They can talk to many people, and they're quite very strategic when they are dealing and doing the negotiations. So the one who have this kind of face, mostly they become later owner of the enterprise or being the deal maker, something that use the skill of their words of negotiation. And they can adjust themselves very easy. I think I have seen the water face there at the back there. Okay, next one, the square face is represent the earth element. So the square shape is the shape of the face is like this. So what does earth represent? It's the common sense, right? Very common sense. In this world, there's no need to memorize things, just understand. Everything is common sense. For the earth, it is something that is stable, trustworthy. So the one who has a facial shape like this, mostly they are the doer. If you want the colleagues that are the doer, just pick up someone who has the shape of the face like this. Okay, next one. This shape is quite a long face. It represents the wood. You see the shape of the wood. It has a long face. The long face is the character of the thinker. I think you can go back home and look on screen. You can see that most of the one who work in the scholar field and someone criticize a lot, think a lot, they has this kind of face. And next, the triangle face, which represent the fart. The great character of the fart is that they can be a good entertainer. Because fart means something that changes, exciting. So the one who have this kind of facial shape, they will be a really good entertainer. And the last one, this shape, the diamond rectangle, is represent the metal or the gold. Someone who have the facial shape like this, they has a really good character of leader, being a leader. So actually you can selfie your picture and see what is the facial shape I have. To say frankly, in one person, there's no single facial shape. It's a combination of one element to the other. In some face, may have 3 or 4 characters combined together. And the facial shape can change from one age to the other. It's a miracle of the nature. Because I also observe my facial shape it change from one age to another. Besides injection myself. So this one is the map of the face. For the face reading, we divide the face into 3 main parts. Upper part, Sang, middle part, Zhong, and lower part, Xia. For the upper part, it represents the age from 15 to 30. And for the middle part, it represents the age from 31 to 50. And the lower part represents the age from 51 to 70. Okay, you may ask, where's the rest of the age? For the younger age is at the ears, and the older one is around this. So, but mainly the one who visit us, they are in the age around this. Okay, and it represents the age, and the area also have their own meaning. For about the overview of the key point of a good facial face Feng Shui, actually there's a lot of information to learn. I have learned many years to get deeply understanding it. But one keyword that if you want to learn about this is the must you have to comply with. Harmonization, balance, and proportion. No matter how good eyes, good nose, good lips you have, but if you have no harmonization, balance, and proportion, it's not good. Actually, it's the same concept for the aesthetic medicine also. So, I really love this picture. It represents the balance, okay? Harmonization and balance. So, let's see this one. We will talk about the forehead first. For the forehead, the area on this, it represents many things. For the middle part of the forehead, it represents a career. For this part, it represents a traveling. And this one is one of the most important part of the face, is the life balance. Someone that do not have good point here, it will decrease the good aspect of the other places on the face. So let's say this one. Actually, I have got this picture at the early morning of today. Do you remember this guy? He is the speaker in the morning, Dr. James Wesson. Okay, the reason why I do the selfie with him because I noticed that, do you see this area? It is quite obvious. He has a really good character of this area, which you can compare here. This is this area. You see this area? And you see? It's really well developed. So actually, from my experience, I collect the data. For me, it's 100% accuracy. I asked them, do you travel a lot? Yes. So the answer is yes. Someone who has a really good character here, they will travel a lot, and traveling can bring them good luck and good fortune. And also, I also have the part like him. So about this one, let's guess what I'm talking about. You know this guy, right? Warren Buffett. He's one of the richest men of the world. And the very strong and good character of him is here. The nose. Some may say that face reading can be applicable only for Asian. But actually it's not true. I treat the patients around the world, both the Caucasian and Asian, and it is applicable to both of them. You can see for his nose, the good nose is the rich nose. What is the character of the rich nose? The character of the rich nose is the nose that is fleshy. Okay? And the good alar is the alar that is thick and stable. So please consider the way you treat your patient. Don't make the nose too sharp or too thin or cut off the alar. That is not a good character. Not just for Feng Shui reading, but it's for the balance of the face also. The tip of note is the capability of being rich, and the alas is the way they can protect the wealth. And this one is for the chin. The good chin is not a really too big point chin, but it's the balance and fleshy chin. And this one is the lips. The good lips is the lips that is well defined, good color, and look smiling. This one is not a good lips, right? As a common sense. And the skin is also very important. Good skin can increase the beauty perception for 30%. 30%. If you have good skin, you will look more beautiful. What I'm implying is about a holistic approach when you treat the patients all together. You have to consider every single point. So, at this figure. Do you think this CD modernized or not? It looks modernized, right? But actually this is the same CD. What I'm implying you is that when you treat a patient, you have to consider every single point in the face. If you have only one beautiful point, you correct with perfect chin for the patient, but they have poor nose. So they are not beautiful anymore. And this one seems to be the good lips, right? But when is this on the face? Do you think she is beautiful? I think she looks like a duck. Yeah? Without prominent lips. So, facial analysis is very important. So I decided to augment their mid-face and upper face, elongate their lips and uplift their corner of mouth, will make her face more balanced and look more happy. You see, she paid a lot for her lips to do the fillers injection, but it made no more beautiful just being like a duck. So before treating the patient, you have to analyze deeply what you should do, not do it by fashion. The growing aesthetic market, aesthetic medicine is growing day by day. From the American Society of Plastic Surgery, they perform around nearly 18 million surgical and minimal invasive aesthetic in last year. It increased and growing every day worldwide. So, however, the more we have treated the patients, that not quarantine that the more our patients look younger or better. You can see at this picture, they pay a lot to use something like this. It is like the overfill syndrome that Dr. Hao has mentioned earlier. It not happen only for the face, but also for the boobs. And this one, she looks so done. Okay, this is true not only for the face reading, but also true for our aesthetic medicine concept. Do not make our patient look done. It's not good. And also this one. She's like she has apple cheeks and being the dark again. And have you ever seen something like this? The forehead augmentation. Actually, in my country, forehead augmentation became popular a few years ago, and I'm the pioneer who created the forehead injection technique. And however, something happened like this. They believe that the bigger the forehead is bring more light and more fortune, but it's not right because the harmonization and optimization is very important. You can see it's not proportionate at all. It's not good. It made the patients like goldfish. I think you have seen a lot of goldfish out there. Also, the phenomenon like this, have you ever seen? It's along the road everywhere. The smile that do not look natural. Normally when we smile, the voluntary muscle of smile is at the low part of the face. But involuntary one is at the upper part of the face. So right now, you can answer to yourself, which area of muscle play for the sincere smile? The upper or the lower? The upper, that's right, the upper. Because if you frozen all the upper part of the muscle, the smile of your patient will no longer be sincere. We have to keep in mind, no lies do not mean beautiful. This concept is totally not true. And how about this? Minimize the lies, but it's not real. It's not beautiful at all. It's like you made the patients wearing the mask all the time. Because now today we discuss a lot about the techniques, injection, but this concept we have to integrate it into our practice also. Facial analysis is one of the really most important part of the injection or aesthetic medicine. Oh, this phenomenon like this, have you ever seen? We are being crazy about the V shape, but what happened? What happened? This can build a road. It's too sharp. Okay, and this one is not a good character of the face. It's like we are making them like the aliens, right? So keep in mind, harmonization, balance, and natural look. Keys, when we treat the patient, remember this. We have to respect the pre-existing structure of each patient. When we treat the patient, we do it like we do the historic place renovation. Do not like building the new building on empty land. So, this is an example. This is the Bold Castle in New York, Alexandria Castle. When we want to renovate it, this is the way they do. We have to preserve the character of the previous building, right? We cannot make it into the Empire State in New York. Or this one, you have to preserve the character, right? We cannot make a livery statue. So that's why I'm implying that when you treat the patients, you do it like doing a historic place renovation. Because each patient, they have their own character, their own identity, their own pre-existing structure of the face. You cannot destroy that into an empty paper and draw anything. So you have to preserve their identity also and make it the best way. To make that in a great way, you have to understand the aging process, cause, mechanism, and the difference between Asian and Caucasian. The concept of the youthfulness, this is the really global concept. Don't forget about the skin. Skin is the key, to say frankly. Good skin, no pigment, wrinkle scar, good shape of the face, symmetry, good contour, no sagging. And the keyword is the no separation between each unit of the face, which is the word harmonization. They will make your patients look damaged. And this is the factors contribute to the aging. There is the intrinsic factor and an extrinsic factor. Intrinsic factor is the genetic factors, and the extrinsic one that we can prevent for our patients, like the damage from the sun, gravity, the moisture, temperature, free radical, their bad lifestyle, smoking, drinking, stress, toxins, and sweet things. Starbucks is aging food. I think there's no one of you are the shareholder of Starbucks, right? And lack of exercise and sleep, not adequate nutrient. As doctor, we have to treat the patient in a holistic way, not just letting the patient sit there, inject, and let them go. We are not a good doctor that way. We have to investigate their lifestyle and any other part that we can make our patients more healthy and rejuvenated. And when all the damage has been gathered from the genomic DNA and mitochondrial DNA, it causes the decline in somatic cells function and cause the aging. Aging is not just a building, but it can lead to the disease, like the metabolic disease, neurological disease, cancer, and death. And this is a huge impact of the sun. The sun can increase MMP enzyme. If you don't want to memorize anything, just remember this name of enzyme, MMP. This enzyme, their function is to break down collagen. When this enzyme is activated by the sun, the collagen breaks down. And the sun also inhibits the production of the collagen. So, as the rule, sun avoidance for every single patient that have no vitamin D deficiency. But if they have vitamin D deficiency, you can do the replacement instead of letting them go into the sun, right? Okay, this is the features of skin aging by intrinsic and extrinsic pathway. For the intrinsic pathway, they decrease the skin elasticity, soft tissue volume loss from fat atrophy, gravity-induced soft tissue redistribution, and decreased facial skeletal support. And from the extrinsic one, it decreases the elasticity, more lines, more solar lentigines, pigmentation, septate, telangiectasias, shallow cancer, and the textural roughness. For the intrinsic aging, we cannot help that much because it's an internal factor. We can have some things that manipulate this intrinsic factor, but the extrinsic aging, we can manipulate it much easier. And how can we help this patient? This one is the really famous actress in Thailand. I show this picture for you to show the aging character of Asian. And this one is the aging character of the Caucasian. What is the difference? Do you think Caucasian or Asian has better luck? You know, Asian want to be white. But actually, the melanin does have some use. Because melanin protects us from the sun and the free radical and the damage. So that's why we age slower. And our age spot is less than the Caucasian, comparatively. And we have less skin cancer compared to the Caucasian. And the fat distribution is also very important. You can see that the fat has a downward redistribution, and around it has a fat atrophy. For the upper face, when we age at every single part of the face. So, what can we see? In this slide, I try to interpret you into the language that you can apply to the patients directly. So, they have the eyelid hollowing, eyebrow litosis, and infraorbital shadow seeing. And also the eye bags, the concavity of the temporal, the flat forehead, interruption between unit of the face and the aging skin. Do not forget to include the skin into your factor every time you treat a patient. And this is the resorption of the periorbital bone. This is a 3D of the CT of young orbit. The shape is like this, right? But when you're getting older, that is the resorption around the orbit and predominantly here and here. Supromedial and infralateral. Why we have to understand this? Because when we treat a patient, someone that is the first step of aging, the volume loss here. So if you put it here, does that make sense? Doesn't make sense at all. You have to know the sequence of aging. And this is the orbit of the young and of the old. You can see the difference, right? And this is an obvious upper face aging. You can see the hollowing at the temporal area, which makes you really aged. And for this is a zero grading for the periorbital skin aging. You can keep this as for your evaluation of your patients. For the mid-face. The mid-face, when you have the aging, it has the generalized mid-face deflation and volume, and concavity and overlaying shadow can cause a separation lower eyelid from the cheek, the lines around this, and also depression of the retaining ligament. ORL, zygomatical cutaneous zygomatic ligament. Remember this name, it's very important. Because, you know, mostly in everyday aesthetic training, they mention a lot about the fat compartment, the bone, the vessels, but one of the really crucial parts playing the role is the retaining ligament. And for the aging skin, you have to also correct that. And you see the mid-face here. There is no separation of the units here, but right now, many border. And this slide is very useful also. This is the sequence of facial aging occurrence of the fat compartment. The fat do not become atrophied the same time, but they have that sequence. So the first area that have the aging is which area? Guess. Eyes. That's right. You can see at your own face. The eyes is have the deflation first, and then this area, and then this area. So that's why the strategy of the treating patient, if the patient is the really budgeting people, so which area we should treat them first? Eyes. Just a few milliliters of the fillers or the fat, you can make a really impactful rejuvenation for the patient. And the fat compartment. Remember, we have a deep and superficial fat. What is very important because if you put in the wrong plane, the face of the patient becomes saggy. If you put in the deep fat, all support the retaining ligament, the face will be lifted. But if you put on superficial ligament, the face of the patient will be drooping. Okay, this is a very common pitfall nowadays. And for the lower face, for the aging face, it's like the portion becomes like a U shape and increasing jaw volume and descent. Heavy lower face and sagging and excess skin. Loss of volume support at the labiomandibular fold. Accentuation of labiomandibular fold and the jaw sulcus, pre-jaw sulcus, and irregular jawline, and also the aging skin. This is the theoretic rating for the lower face. And the trick is here. When you rejuvenate the patients that have the lower face aging, normally there's no people that have only the lower facial aging. You see, right? So there's some nonsense injector just try to correct this nasolabial fold. Only put the fillers here, make the patients like monkey. But we cannot correct that because the nasolabial fold here has been caused by the volume deflation from the middle part of the face, excess of the skin here, loss of the bony support here. So when we treat, we have to volumize the mid-face also. Remove the excess skin if it's needed, and also support the retaining ligament and improve the skin quality. The trick that I would like to mention here is that skin quality does play a very important role. You can reduce the volume that you use in each case if you prepare the skin quality first before you do the procedure. And another trick is about the jawline. Jawline really has a really huge impact on the psychology when you perceive. Someone that has a really well-defined jawline will look young automatically, according to the psychology of the human beings. So if the patient is so budget, you can just harmonize the jawline to trick the perception of others. The result is satisfactory. And surface anatomy. This one is a really important part of aesthetic medicine that we forget it. You know, because face anatomy is the things that we can evaluate from the surface. You can see this line. You can see this line. Underlying is the ORL ligament. Underlying is here is the zygomatic cutaneous ligament. It's the retaining ligament here and the sagging of skin here. That cause the problem to the patient. So, for example, if the patients come to you with a chief complaint of eye bag, okay? The eye bag here is not the same as eye bag here. It's different. The eye bag here is above the ORL, but the eye bag here is between the ORL and zygomatic cutaneous ligament. So the solution is different. You have to be very detailed in the surface anatomy so that you can identify the right anatomical structure we want to deal with. And this one also, you can see when we become aged, the lines more pronounced and the sagging of the skin become more pronounced. Okay, don't forget the intrinsic and extrinsic factor. Consideration in every cases. Whole body consideration, very important. Those two women are all beautiful, right? Those two are all beautiful. And even those two, they are all beautiful. Our duty is not to change the identity of the patients to be someone else. We just have to polish the people to make their strong point more obvious and obscure their weak point to be the best of them and keep their identity. Keep this word in mind: harmonization, balance, and natural look. Okay, this is the way I try to treat my patient. Do not look much done, look harmonized, but have a beauty impact. And one of the very important things that I would like to mention is about when you evaluate the patient. Do not evaluate only the frontal view. You have to evaluate in 360 degrees. I learned this from actually my patients. My patients, most of them are on camera, so every angle is beautiful. I have seen the pitfall in some cases. You treat the frontal view very, very beautifully, but the lateral view is so ugly. You don't do like that. We have to evaluate in the 360 degrees view. And for the forehead also. This one has been referred to me to correct this problem. They have been treated to be the goldfish, and you can see the irregularities. Tomorrow we talk about the specific detail in the forehead augmentation. So we have to correct this way, and especially the nose and forehead. The 360 degree evaluation is very important. And after the correction, you can see we make it smooth and curved, and also proportionate to every portion of the face. This one has been referred to correction of these bumps also. So we have to make it harmonized. Holistic approach is very important. Don't forget body, mind, and spirit. When we make them more handsome or more beautiful, it's not just a beauty thing, but it's also related to their mind and confidence. This picture is from my patient's day photo and sent it to me. When he first met me, he's an LGBT with a broken heart and have got a depression, lost a lot of confidence, and after he renovated himself, he feels more fresh. His confidence increased, and incredibly, he can stop their depression medication in just a few weeks. This is a power that we can help our people, not just the building, but it's also the mind. And this is the last slide that I want you to keep to your mind. Do not make the patients to be like this. Never make the patient look done. It's the errors. If any single patient look done, it's the unsuccessful treatment session. But make them to smile naturally, have the facial movement naturally, look younger without knowing they have done anything. That is the successful session. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dr. Do you have question? Somebody